welcome to part 2 of my product photography vlog. So if you watched part 1, which I will link here, you would have seen the actual product photography photo shoot where I took photos of all of my products. You would have seen the setup and all of that fun stuff, and if you watched all the way through, you would have heard my first real experience with voiceovers, which was fun and intriguing. Well, at least it was for me. I don't know about you. Anyway, so this is in part 2. This is all about editing those photos. So to do that, I am using Canva. I do have Canva Pro. I am doing some pretty basic edits, so I don't think I'm using any of the pro features. However, if I do, I will let you know, because it is a lot of computer work. The majority of this is going to be screen recordings with voiceovers of my thought process, explaining what I'm doing, all of that. So I'll get some more practice on those voiceovers. Hi, I'm Phoebe. Welcome back to my channel, Photos Creations, where I take you on my journey of starting and running a book-centered art business. So let's jump into editing these photos. Oh, and make sure you stick around to the end because there's going to be an announcement. I really felt like the Wiggles then. Okay, the first thing I'm doing here is just starting a design. I can't remember the original dimensions I started with, but partway through doing the book sleeves, I decided that a square would be better and went with 300 by 300 pixels. So I'm just removing the backgrounds of some of the images and making the products as big and clear as possible. To do this, I am using Canva's background remover tool, which is a pro feature, and to be honest, probably the pro feature I use the most. With the styled images, I'm just right-clicking and making the image the background, and then resizing if needed to make sure the product fits and is as centered as can be. I decided to do this with all the pictures that I took, even if I wasn't quite sure if I was going to use them or not, and then go back later and make that decision. So you will see some pictures in here that didn't make the final cut. Moving on to the Penholder bookmarks, I'm going to be completely honest. Ever since the photo shoot, when they didn't fit properly around different sized books, I've been quite disappointed in the product, and I've been trying to mentally redesign them to work the way I want them to, but also in the best way to benefit my customers. And just looking at these photos, I can see other things that can be improved upon. So while you will see them throughout the entire video, I have taken the listing down and have decided on how to best move forward with them for the future. So stay tuned. Onto the scrunchies. For some reason, I decided to keep the background. I think I like the shadows, and when I tried removing the background, I just thought it looked weird. You'll see me doing the same thing here. I right click and make the image the background and resize it. I also used another pro feature from Canva here, the magic eraser. I actually don't think I've ever used it before, but as I've made these high quality photos larger, I've noticed a hair or thread or speck of something is in the frame, and while other people may not care, I do, so it has to go. And funnily enough, I don't actually think you can make them out in the video. All you can see is me highlighting something in purple. So So here you can see me trying to make a somewhat natural looking background for the wristlets. I didn't like the way they looked on white without the background, and unfortunately the original photo wasn't large enough to cover the entirety of the new photo. So I tried duplicating the photo and flipping it so the background would be similar, but that didn't work. And then I remembered I accidentally took a photo when nothing was on the blank setup, so I put that as the background and removed the background from the photo. It worked, so I applied it to all the others. To add some depth, I added a drop shadow to the products. Now that I know about this background issue and I have two more sizes of wristlets to go, I decided to quickly go and take a couple of photos of my bookish backdrops that I made. I'll link to my previous vlog where I created these in the description. So I went and did that, uploaded them, and now I have some bookish backgrounds to tie some not so bookish products to my bookish brand. I continued to remove the backgrounds, add drop shadow, and add a different filter to the bookish backdrops to differentiate between the sizes. I also went back and changed the background of the small wristlets to the bookish backdrops to keep with the theme. I'm now creating the sizing and color option graphics for the products. As I'm new to this, on my Shopify store, I found that the easiest way to display different color and size options for a product was to just have a different listing for each size so that if I include a size option graphic, that's just another way to tell customers that I do sell other sizes. After all, communication is key. I had previously taken photos of all the fabric that I used, so I just uploaded these and put them into circle frames and wrote what I named the colors under their respective circles. To make it nice and presentable, I also made the text curve with the circles, and I did this for every product. With my sizing, I obviously measured each product. And for example, with my book sleeves, I tested a bunch of books to make sure they would fit, and then I took photos of the biggest from the different sizes, hardbacks, large paperbacks, and small paperbacks, took down their measurements and page count, and included them for reference. Also, I like to be as clear as possible in my messaging, so most, if not all, of my measurements include both centimeters and inches. For my headings, I stick to my main color brands. However, I haven't decided on brand fonts yet. So at the moment, I just go with what feels right. I did do different fonts for each product, but I stuck to the same font for all the wristlets, and then all the scrunchies also had the same font. I do like to add a shadow or a glow. And uh, with all of these headings, I ended up going with a drop shadow. Here I'm making the cover photos for the product listings. These are the first photos that the customers will see. And here is the result with the color options being the second image that pops up. I actually didn't like that the book sleeve and the penholder bookmarks weren't as cohesive as everything else. So they stood out, but not in a good way. So I actually went back in. So this is the final result after I went back in. Now they look more cohesive. The color options are still the second thing that you see when you look in. Remember, this is just the final result for the product photography, not my website as a whole. However, I guess it is a little bit of a sneak peek.
I tried to make that as short as possible. That was actually 7 hours of screen recordings shrunk down. And that was only what recorded, because at a couple points it stopped recording and I hadn't realized, and I just kept doing my thing because I was in the zone. So I don't actually know how long it took me to do things. And even after all that, I actually decided to take down the listings for the Penholder bookmarks. I just wasn't happy with the quality of the product, in the sense that it didn't fit a lot of size books, and I just wasn't proud to put that product forward, knowing, like, it was just a disappointment to me. So I wasn't comfortable putting it forward, expecting people to pay for it, and expecting them to leave a good review and be happy with it if I wasn't. So I've decided to rework it and do it essentially the same way that I have done the wristlets and the scrunchies, and have different sizes to fit different books. I think that's going to be the easiest way forward. I had brainstormed several different ways. I had brainstormed having like multiple smaller elastics of different sizes, but that was going to be too annoying for people to use. I had thought of, having a button and have like one thick elastic with different size buttonholes, but then that could also be annoying, and like all these different things. And I think just having essentially the same look that it is now, but just having different sizes, is going to be the best way to move forward. So that's how that's going to go. So that was a little bit of a sad thing, however productive things. Like, this is a whole big process, and throughout this whole process I'm learning so much, and like I said, it was something that I wasn't entirely proud of. I didn't want to put it forward when I wasn't 100%, or even really, like, I wasn't even 80% proud of it. It lacked what I wanted. Anyways, the announcement. Throughout this whole thing, while showing you on the mock-ups on my website, saying my website's not up, my website is now live. It has actually been live for a couple of days now. I've been putting through testing. It has been shared a little bit, but you can go and look at these photos and everything. It looks a bit different. It's got a few more features from the mock-ups now, just because like I added, the descriptions are up. It's got, people can add reviews, just some stuff like that. I've got an about me page. I've finished my FAQ page, all that kind of stuff. So it is up, it is live. Please go check it out. Please share it with any of your friends, family, anyone you know that would like these products or anything. I would absolutely love that. And yeah, I'm proud of my site. I've done a lot of mental work. I have essentially done it all by myself. I've gotten a little bit of help from my mum and another friend, just like, does this look good? Or like just confirming things for myself. But I'm proud of it. It's taken forever, considering I've set up the bare minimum back in November of 2025 to do my first stall at an event. And then like back then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have it set up, and that was my official launch of my business. And then I did like nothing, and that was not the best idea. However, lessons have been learned, things have been corrected. It is now up and running. I'm excited. I'm nervous, but good nervous and excited for the future and everything to come forward. And that is one of my business goals for this year is now accomplished. Yay me! So thank you all for being on this journey for me. I appreciate you all for watching and celebrating with me, and yeah, please go check it out. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. And if you haven't seen part one, go watch it, or go watch any of the other videos. There will be another video here, and please subscribe. So thank you and have a lovely day.